Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the middle-aged guys, and we bullshit about nothing. This particular set of bullshit is going to be about the Capcom trailers that were dropped at the PlayStation Experience today. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
Today was the day that where PlayStation held their PlayStation Experience Expo and their fan show for 2016. A lot of rumors running into this as far as what was going to be shown, and Capcom came out and they took center stage. I believe they led the PlayStation Experience as far as what was revealed out. The very first thing that they went ahead and that they revealed out was confirming a lot of the rumors that have been coming down the pike over the last week. Marvel vs. Capcom, instead of 4, Infinite. Yeah.
0-0 with a line.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
So they copied Rez.
Something like that. All right. But the big brouhaha for this particular one was the fact that, as far as the Marvel vs. Capcom legacy goes and everything, the one thing that the biggest rumor leading up to it was that there were going to be no mutants, that they were going to be taking a shift away from the Marvel X-Men centric characters and then move it toward the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. Which it comes with its own caveats, and I kind of understand why. But before we get into that, let me get everybody's first impressions and everything else.
Okay, look, I am a fan of certain X-Men characters. The fact that they may not be there or they won't be there is very disappointing. And people are just thinking just the X-Men or even the X-Women, like Storm. No, Magneto and Juggernaut are a part of that. So, and Colossus, Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue. So please understand that those characters are not going to be there. Now, if you're going to bring the Marvel Cinematic Universe in, okay, Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, Ant-Man, Black Panther. I would love to see Black Panther. Bucky, the Winter Soldier. If you're going to do that, fine. Bring them motherfuckers. They already shown Captain Marvel, and her movie's not even out yet.
And if you remember in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they had Iron Fist, who's now part of the Marvel Netflix portion. So that also opens up the possibilities of the Netflix characters like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, all the Defenders and everything, which also includes the Punisher showing up.
Yeah, you see, and with that said, bring that shit. Bring that shit. If you're gonna eliminate certain characters, then you better compensate us with characters that Venom and Carnage with Spider-Man. Please, if you're look, that's possible now.
Yes,
bring them motherfuckers in, because those three have never been in the same fucking game in a fighting game. In a fighting game, not a beat 'em up, Maximum Carnage. Fuck, I wish that was 2 players, but anyway.
Also, Marvel Ultimate Alliance too. They were all 3 of them there.
Yeah, but as far as fighting games. Shit, how's it going to be structured? 2-on-2 still, or is it going to be 3-on-3? Because during the trailer they only showed 2-on-2.
I think the rumors from the industry insiders is that it's going to be 2-on-2.
Okay, fine. But still, have Venom, have Spider-Man, have Carnage. Let me interchange them.
2-on-2 with 1 assist character.
Okay,
I believe that's how they're going to. Okay,
then I look, get all the symbiotes in there, and let's go crazy.
Yeah. What about you, Gray Mouse? What are your thoughts on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
Well, my first thoughts are that I'm glad to see Capcom coming up out of the ashes. It'll be good to see them back as being relevant again. And I cannot just, anything that you guys were saying, I would love, certain characters. I understand why the X-Men are not going to be there. And as long as they have characters that replace them, quote unquote, replace them, it'll be fine, especially expanding into the other, Ant-Man, Guardians, and Captain Marvel, those characters. You know what? Even what's his name, man? We just saw him, Doctor Strange. You know, you got all these. Come on, you know, you got all these characters now that could possibly be in there. So, you know, as long as the Infinite, the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, make it to where it's a fighting game where I don't press a button and do a 10-hit combo. You know, don't dull it down for the people that's been playing, you know, fighting games for, you know, for forever. At least leave that in there. Those are my.
They took X-Men out, but they added one X, Mega Man X.
Yeah, amongst others.
And I'm surprised that even any Mega Man made the fucking cut. At least it's not Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. You know, or Beck, yeah.
That would have been horrible.
That would have been horrible.
But as what Grey Mouse was saying, as far as the gameplay, don't have one-button combos. Make this shit the way it used to be, as far as having, you know, actual skill in order to bust these combos out.
Take it back to the Versus series.
Yeah, I think that if recent sales figures have been any sort of indication, Capcom should have an idea, and they do. If they have their hand on the pulse of the actual community that plays their games and raves about their games, they should have an idea of what to do.
And
I'm not saying that they can't fuck it up, because they can always fuck it up.
One thing I was just about to say, don't make the earning system like Street Fighter V. Don't fucking do that. Have all of the roster accessible. Don't try to add in characters years or months or years later. Have all the characters there. If you're going to have question marks like there used to be, have us to fucking earn them that way. Have them already fucking available. Don't fucking do this shit that, okay, we're going to release the game with 8 characters and gradually you'll have the full fucking game within 3 to 4 years. No, don't fucking do that with this game. Please.
You know, to add on to that, I think that they have no choice but to have a pretty big, if you're doing 2-on-2, you're going to need a pretty big roster.
Well, that really depends. Are they going to put the music of every character in? Just like they used to?
I mean, you're going to need a lot of characters.
Because I'm not sure people will get hooked on jazz again like they did with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. With Marvel vs. Capcom 3, yeah, they brought back individuals' music again. They need to stick with that because people are real big fans of that, including me.
I mean, I think some of the things that was rumored out was really confirmed as far as the actual trailer that was going out was big rumors was there was the emphasis on 2-on-2, and also the emphasis on the fact that there weren't going to be any X-Men characters, because if there were, then I would expect that we would have seen Wolverine someplace in that trailer.
In the trailer, yeah.
But given all of that, given the landscape of the Marvel comics and also the friction between Disney and Fox and who has what rights over what movie characters and other things like that, I know for a fact that this was not Capcom's decision if they indeed go ahead and omit all of the X-Men characters. And then given that sort of landscape, I can probably expect that we're not going to see anything Fantastic Four related either.
Mm-mm.
So no Victor Von Doom, no Super Skrull, none of that. All right.
Yep.
That's a damn shame, man. Because Doom, man.
Damn, I was gonna put capes together again. Doom, Magneto, and Bison.
Yep.
That's not possible.
Well, not completely, because the thing is that in the same on the same day on the same stage, talking about what was accessible to Marvel vs. Capcom was Capcom also explained out, and they released a new trailer that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is now going to be available for both the PS4 and the Xbox One. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think that might already be on the store as of today. And that's going to be available for everybody who hasn't jumped into that. All of the DLC and everything are ready for download. So I think as far as kind of like a make good, because the problem with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and the thing that it ran into was that, yeah, it released out the ultimate characters like in this big expansion a lot later. those characters were actually supposed to come like within shorter intervals to be available for DLC and everything. But what happened after they released Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was that, there was a huge earthquake and fucking tsunami in Japan, which made everything come to a fucking halt.
Yeah.
Where it was like, well, hey, this was all the DLC that we were basically when they released Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they're like, this was all the DLC that we were planning on releasing like over the last year. Here, you guys go ahead and have that, you know, and that's what happened. So for those folks who haven't had the chance to jump into that, well, you can go ahead and jump onto that now for the Xbox One and also PS4. So just kind of like a make good. All right.
Do you guys think that they'll have air combos and stuff like that as well?
Yeah.
And it has to be in order for it to be this versus series. If they take that away, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's I you know what, removing characters is one thing, but removing game mechanics, that's something else. Look, I can go ahead and I can decide not to wear a pair of shoes one day, but if I decide that I just don't want feet ever, that's something different. Okay. It's not to say that this was the only thing that Capcom had available for people who are still fans of their games and everything. In fact, multiple videos that we've done over the last few months, not quite recently, but over the last few months, we've been just kind of expanding on our thoughts of how Capcom has handled their flagship series, the Street Fighter series, okay, and especially with the extremely disappointing sales for Street Fighter V and everything. Everybody's come to the point where it's like, well, is Capcom going to try to salvage Street Fighter V, or are they just going to move on to something new? Well, pretty much what they had released out, when the trailers that they released out today for Street Fighter V was pretty much indicating that, hey, look, we still think that there's life in Street Fighter V. We're going to make a lot more efforts, a lot more real efforts to go ahead and convince players to go ahead and jump back in, or even new players to jump in. And that was the Akuma reveal trailer, which they also showed at PlayStation Experience. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So Super Saiyan Akuma is finally joining in this roster.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Yeah, he kind of looks like either Simba mixed with Broly.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the hair and stuff like that. I understand that they're trying to, age him and actually look like a fucking beast, a monster. Mm-hmm. But again, besides all that, showing the Akuma trailer, okay, Akuma is one of my personal favorites. I Gray Mouse even knows that. But look, Street Fighter V better come with it, and they better come with it with a fucking arcade mode, a suitable one. They need to do more with the fucking game in order for it to be a fucking complete game, or a game that people are going to jump on again. I just certain characters aren't enough. They need to tweak the game a bit so it can be complete in the hands of the fucking people that got it, like myself and Gray Mouse.
Well, what about you, Gray Mouse? What are your thoughts on it?
Finally, they're bringing Goki.
The man,
the legend, all that shit. And looks like he has some of his previous moves from SNK versus, what was it? Capcom Chaos, right? 2?
SVC Chaos, or you mean Capcom versus SNK 2, or do you mean just
Capcom versus SNK 2? So I mean, he has that strike, which is good. Another thing too is, like, you were watching the trailer. There's a lot of looks like he gets some deadly combos, man, that can't wait to play with him. So I'm excited about that. And I don't know. I've owned Street Fighter V since day one at launch, and it's came a long way since then. I mean, when I got it, there wasn't even a story mode, So I look forward to the more improvements, and I think one of the reasons, like you were saying earlier, the piss poor what's it called, sales, was because of that. That those missteps at the very beginning really turned a lot of people off. People like the theme off to the game at the beginning. But I mean, they're amending it now. But I feel that it's a little too late now. I mean, the damage is done. I don't know if you're gonna ever be able to sell as much as you anticipated to sell when you release the game, and that just goes for just you fucked up at the beginning, and I know you're trying to amend from then. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm looking at it like a grain of salt. I mean, I was kind of disappointed.
Well, I think the thing about it is that regardless of what our impressions are of Street Fighter V in its current form, I think Capcom knows that it's still their flagship series as far as fighting games out there goes, and it's also still the flagship fighting game for the competitive community and a lot of the fighting tournaments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, is it perfect? No, by no means no. It still has a long way to go for a lot of people to decide to jump in. And a lot of folks who decide to jump in, they're kind of jumping in late. I don't think that they were imagining that at this time, almost a full, 10 months after they released it, mm-hmm. that it wasn't even breaking 1 million sales in physical copies. I mean, that's just, that's just how that's been. It hasn't broken 1 million sales in physical copies.
I got a question, Reverend. Correct me if I'm wrong, Street Fighter V wouldn't even exist without Sony's help at this particular point in time, right? I mean, they didn't really have a Street Fighter V, and that's why you can only get it for the PlayStation. I mean, I could be wrong.
And PC.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I think what was happening was that part of a lot of the Sony involvement is actually kind of tied in with a lot of the esports stuff. Okay. Which in itself has gotten a lot bigger over the last few years. But the flip side of that was that because a lot of the things that Capcom went ahead and focused on was just purely on the competitive side and the competitive community. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that, look, you have the competitive community who goes out of their way and they go through the boot camp, they learn every character, they get the fancy fighting sticks and everything else, all right? And they're a very diehard community, okay? They're willing to go out of their way and spend a lot of extra money. The truth of the matter, though, as far as the competitive community goes, in sheer number, they're probably around 10% of the size of the casual community who will just going out there and buying shit on a fucking impulse.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go out of your way and you can't escape it nowadays. If somebody goes out of their way and they buy the game, or anybody on YouTube like ourselves, we buy the game at day one. We go ahead and we do a Twitch stream, or we do a review that we go ahead and we put on YouTube and everything, and we say point blank, there is nothing on here that accommodates any sort of casual fucking player. If the mainstream gaming media says point blank, there is nothing on here that is worthwhile to the casual player, all right, then guess what? The casual player, no matter what they want, they're going to sit there, they're going to hear that not only from mainstream media, but also YouTubers, and many of which they trust more than mainstream media, and they're going to sit there and say, do I really want to fucking jump into this? And that's kind of the riddle that Capcom has been trying to solve over the last 10 months. A big part of this is Akuma. And not only Akuma, the 5 other extra characters that they're planning on releasing out over the next few months. So, I appreciate their efforts, okay? And if it turns out that you can just go ahead and still unlock them using fight money, even though it's kind of a bullshit process anyways, that you have to be online all the time. You know what? It's better than sitting there and doing what they've done before with, we've got Super Street Fighter V. We got Super Street Fighter V Turbo. We got Super Street Fighter V Turbo EX. We got Super Street Fighter V Alpha Turbo EX. We've got Ultra Street Fighter V Arcade Edition EX Turbo. At least we haven't seen any inkling of that, okay? So if they're going this way, I think as far as it goes, I think recovery of the faith of the casual fan is probably going to happen. It's not going to happen as fast as the Capcom CEO want it to, but it will happen. Okay.
Well, I mean, this, with the announcement of Akuma, there's still certain characters that are missing. Most noticeably, I think it's Sagat. I mean, for Christ's sake.
I agree with that 100%. It doesn't make any sense for him not to be there.
No, and then Sakura. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for her not being there.
Once again, it doesn't make any sense for her not to be there.
So, I mean, we don't know who these extra 5 characters are, but I kind of got a feeling that, because the way they said it, 5 new characters, I felt like they're not a Street Fighter 5 character or Street Fighter character that we know.
So, a cousin of E Honda, Sagat's aunt,
So we'll
like
have
that.
G Honda and Bagat.
I mean, we don't even have Blanca. When is the last time we seen her?
It's gonna be a lion uppercut. No, we already have a woman that took his place from Brazil. We already have that, and she can shock. She does the electricity, so that's Blanca's replacement. Yeah,
She looks a lot better in green too.
We're gonna have we're not gonna have a tiger uppercut anymore. It's gonna be a cougar upper slash. It's gonna be something like that from these characters, and yeah.
So you're saying that they're going to import people from Fighters history? Is that it?
Oh my god!
Or World Heroes if they get away with it.
No.
How do you think they came up with Dan? They were making fun of Art of Fighting, so now they can make fun of
what though?
and they can make fun of World Heroes in one strike with Street Fighter V, with just fucking with those characters that they bring in.
I think the Reverend hit the nail on the head with the fact that Capcom has a lot of, to come back, has a lot of room for improvement. And, they're not going to bring the casual players back overnight like they expected.
Yeah, but they got a lot of making up to do, because
that's what I'm saying.
People are not going to go out and buy this game full price.
No.
That's the biggest thing about it, as far as saying they want to make their money back or they're trying to catch up. No, you have motherfuckers that even if they will get the game, they will not get it full price.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And then, I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, you can get this. By the way, you can get Akuma and the 5 extra characters, whoever they may be. They have a season pass for 2017. So I guess they're trying to recoup some of their money by allowing people to unlock them automatically as a season pass.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think they are doing it the right way. Still allowing, you to earn them through just regular gameplay. However, the Reverend said this again, which I totally agree with him, and I totally disagree with Capcom's way of doing it, is that the only way to fucking earn fight money is to be on the fucking line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. So I can't be on an off mode, just sitting here on the couch, beating on my friend or whatever and earn fight money. No, I have to be, signed in online to do that. That's shit.
I mean, it's they aren't requiring DLC funds right off the bat. They are being upfront saying that you do have the choice to go ahead and do that, which is fine. Okay, I already know that's there. But at least with this particular set of reveals, like I said, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming out to PS4 and Xbox One, and downloadable, fully remastered, 1080p and 60 frames per second with all the DLC included. And then the new reveal for Akuma coming to Street Fighter V and the upcoming 5 additional characters and all of that. I think we could see where Capcom's efforts have been in. And the truth of the matter is that as far as it goes when it comes to the games that they have out there that are being played online on a regular basis, it's still Street Fighter V, Marvel vs. Capcom, and Street Fighter 3. Those are the ones that people are playing on a regular basis nowadays.
Now, look, again, I will say this again. Yes, we know where Capcom has been working on and so on and so forth, but once again, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and I'm just going to go ahead and beg for them once again. Capcom, Rival Schools 3, Power Stone 3, please. You got Marvel vs. Capcom coming back. You're trying to revitalize Street Fighter V. Okay, cool. Or another plasma sword, something. Broaden your horizons here.
Let's just ask for them to do what they're saying that they're going to do correctly first before we start singing more Jodeci songs.
Hey, now, wait a minute. You got Resident Evil VII coming out, so there are certain people that are getting their blowjobs from Capcom.
Yeah, but that's also one that I don't think it was going to disappear anyways.
Well, again, certain ones have disappeared that they should bring back, and that's why I keep mentioning those. I mean, did you ever think would we see a Marvel vs. Capcom again after the debacle of Part 3?
Yeah. And just in what particular form, though?
Yeah.
That was always the question that I had.
Yeah. Now...
The only bone I got to pick with with Capcom is that don't forget your casual players like you did with Street Fighter V initially. That's one thing that you.
Well, they're not ever going to make another Mega Man.
Don't
Mega Man X is going to be in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
But don't forget your casual. Don't forget your casual players because they're the ones. Because like the Reverend said earlier, the esports, they're only like maybe he gave it 10%. I'd say about 5% of your fan base. Very very small. Although esports is starting to get a lot more popular, but don't make your game aimed at just esports and the competitive world. You still got those casual gamers and you still got those couch gamers that want to sit on the couch, hook up their controllers and fucking beat up their friends on a Saturday or a Sunday night. So don't forget about those.
Yep. And that's pretty much all we have to ask for Capcom. That's our thoughts on those particular trailers. What are your thoughts, folks, on these particular trailers and the reveals that they showed out on the PlayStation Experience for 2016? Leave them below in the comments. Yep. If you're so kind, hit that like button, hit subscribe too. We are the Middle-Aged Guys. We've just been bullshitting about the Capcom reveals for the last 20 minutes. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
Grandmouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming. Oh, yeah, you know what? Make another fucking Ghosts and Goblins as well. Have Arthur in the game, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Have him with a fucking Infinity Stone. Yeah. Credits.
You do that, Capcom, and you'll be getting these from me. I'll be putting them up on people's phones or on their fucking controllers. I got next.
I'm next.
What about me?